all channels. I'm under attack. Please, if you hear this, help me.
Alright guys, so if you've heard that voice before, then you know what that means. If you played this game before 3.23, you know the sound of that voice. And I did a video previously saying that, hey, is this old favorite mission loop back? Maybe in a limited form, but is it back? And the answer to that unequivocally is yes. Service beacons are back for this dynamic event 110%. There is no question that these missions are in the game. Now, part of me feels like, okay, I'm happy that it's back, but with this mission, it almost feels lazy. Let me explain. So they say that they're working hard on bringing us new and exciting gameplay into the game, but they have to understand that the vast majority of their player base doesn't have amnesia, and the vast majority of their player base only comes around when there's a new patch. They'll check it out for a couple of days, and once they realize the patch is no good, they go back to living their normal lives. And that is kind of like the life cycle of someone who plays Star Citizen. And it's kind of been how I've been for the past little while now with this game in particular. So with these new old missions, it feels like they're just taking old things, letting it disappear for a while, and then bringing it back in order to excite us. But that doesn't excite me. I mean, don't get me wrong. Like I said, I'm happy that it's back because it was one of my favorite PvE missions, because it was one of the easier ways to make money in the game, and you could chain these back to back to back, and you could have a lot of fun doing so. And one of the things that I wondered about service beacons and the previous flight model versus this one was, in the previous flight model, it was so much easier to peel off the attacking NPCs from the guy you have to protect. That way, kind of keeping them clear, kind of keeping them clean. But with master modes and the combat geometry the way that it is, that is increasingly harder to do. So that does provide a little bit of a challenge. But I mean, if you know what you're doing, it's really not that big a deal. But I did want to just come in here and make this video because I wanted to also come and test the desync for this, but the desync has been terrible, just as it's been, you know, throughout the previous times that I've tested this patch and I've tested this mission. So yes, guys, service beacons are back in a limited role. We know that 100% now. Let me know what you guys think about it. You know, I kind of don't like it. And it's not because I don't like service beacons, but because I feel like this part of the mission by CIG was minimal effort, and it just feels like they're like, hey, we need to tack on some space combat, so let's just put these ships out in space and we'll just use our old service beacon gameplay loop to get people into this. But what you could do, CIG, if you love your player base, is just bring this gameplay loop back in its entirety and let people do it, because it was one of your better gameplay loops. And my thing to the people who would say that, oh, well, you know, they have to do new and more exciting things. But my thing is, if you have a formula that works, you stick to that formula because it works. You don't like, oh, well, this works and we're going to stop doing this to try something else. No, you keep that, but you continue to try other new and exciting and engaging things, which I feel that CIGs has a really hard time and a really big problem trying to wrap their head around that concept. Because I've said this a million times, and I'll say it 1,000,001 times now. Star Citizen is a mile wide and an inch deep. There's literally no depth to the gameplay, but when you remove fan favorite missions, it just takes away from that depth. Okay, so there's my 2 cents, or my kind of thought, and me proving that unequivocally these missions are back in a limited form. And let me know what you guys think down in the comments below, because I'm just kind of like very underwhelmed by it all. And I'll see you guys later. Don't forget, Friday night we'll be doing a stream with CitizenCon, so come watch that, hang out with us. I'll be having an open line where people can, call in on Discord, and I'll be checking the temperature and seeing how people feel about Star Citizen. It's going to be an exciting stream. You don't want to miss it, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.